you need a plan. You need to write a plan. You have to do it. I mean, I'm a firm believer in that, because if you're not thinking over the horizon, you know, then you shouldn't be in this, because being an entrepreneur and being successful is not just day to day. It's committing to getting to that destination and then having a plan after you get to that destination to move to the next level. So, you know, in my mind, you know, my first year of business, I did $13,000. The next year in business, I did $283,000. The next year after that, I did 2.1 million. And then you can see this progression. Well, that just didn't happen overnight. You need to bring allies in. You need to coordinate with other small businesses. You need to build relationships and friendships. And then when you do get the opportunity, you got to perform. And so what I did is I took these very small jobs in the beginning, like $10, $12, $20,000, and I would add that to my portfolio. So it would sound great, right? But, you know, it sounds like, well, geez, that's a small job. But those small jobs led to the medium-sized jobs, which went to the larger size jobs when you're eventually knocking down $10 million jobs, or in our case, winning a $2 billion 8-year contract over at the National Institutes of Health. I mean, huge. People don't see that. What's in the middle. So, I mean, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of grit. And back in 2011, I remember waking up and losing everything. I mean, I had a job, the VA hospital in Miami. The job went horribly wrong. My primary subcontractor that was doing the job basically went bankrupt. And then after I went to get the bond, to go after the bond, which is their security to hire people to do it, they went bankrupt. So then I was held responsible for the whole project. I ended up having to spend $3 million to fix this thing. And then so my books went negative. And, you know, so I sat down with all my leaders. I said, hey, this isn't looking good right now. You know, we sat down, we developed a plan. We said, where can we cut? What can we do? We had existing work. So all those profits from that existing work were now being directed at cleaning up the mess that was created. And it wasn't my fault that the situation, you know, took the turn it was. I did everything by the book. I hired a good subcontractor. I made sure that they had the insurances, the bonds. But sometimes you can do everything right and still be hit by a tidal wave. And so how you react and how you do that, you know, you just have to take small bites out of the apple in those cases. And I went out and I didn't lie to anybody about it. I called my bankers. I told my insurance companies that, hey, you know, I'm about to get wiped out, but I need you to back me. And they did, because I was honest with them. I mean, so, you know, in some cases I had to finance some of the debt over, you know, a multi-year period to get it done. But I just have a theory that, you know, that in business, it's inevitable that you're going to get hit by a tidal wave. And in my mind, there was two things that saved me from that. One, I treated my business like a business. I didn't, just because money was in the bank, I didn't steal it from myself. You know, I made sure that it was there to operate the business. I paid myself a very reasonable wage. So in times of crisis, there would be something to assist me in getting that problem solved. Two, I never took on a project that was bigger than my company. For instance, that was like a third of my company. So we average about 20 million a year now. But back then, I think we were at like 40. And I always made sure that I didn't take a project that could wipe out my whole organization. Be smart about, you know, what you attack, right? So I always like to say the Marine Corps is a lot smarter. We don't directly run at the machine gun nest now. You know, we call in artillery, airstrikes, and we find a better route, right? So I kind of applied those Marine Corps thought processes in business where, you know, sometimes you have to take the direct approach, but, you know, sometimes to get to your objective, you're going to have to skip some islands, you know, and make sure you don't get trapped or bogged down. So what I try to do as a leader is, avoid those islands where I'm going to get entrapped. So Matt, you're sitting over here where you've got this big mess of a conflict going on, but at the same time, you got to keep balance with the rest of your business and make sure that they stay on that path. And we got through it.